All right, we've got a short but wow, incredibly powerful story for you today. It's all about a simple routine, a kind of unspoken promise, and a love that, well, it didn't need any words at all. So the whole story really centers on this one simple, unwavering act. Think about it. Every single night, he called his daughter at exactly 9 p.m. Not 9:01, not 8:59. Every single night. That call was a rock, a constant she could absolutely count on. And because it was so consistent, it became more than just a routine. It turned into a ritual. This wasn't just a quick hello on the phone. Nope. It was this nightly ceremony of care, and it was always built around the same three simple questions. The first question was always the practical one. Did you eat? It's the most fundamental question of care, isn't it? It's all about just basic well-being. It's really the foundation of a parent's love, right? Okay, so after that, he'd ask about her future. Did you study? This question was all about her growth, her responsibilities, her path forward. It was his way of making sure she was building a good life for herself. And then came the last question. And you could argue this was the most important one of all, because it went beyond just survival, beyond ambition. Are you happy? This was the question about her spirit, her joy. This was the real heart of the whole ritual. And her answer, it always completed the loop. She'd just smile and say, "Yes, Dad." Just a simple, reassuring answer, right? But it confirmed that everything was okay. It closed out that little ceremony for the night, and I imagine it let them both rest a little easier. But, the funny thing about a ritual, you only feel its true weight when it's broken. And one night, all that comfort, all that predictability, it was just gone, replaced by this really unsettling silence. It's such a simple sentence, isn't it? But one night, the call didn't come. And man, that carries so much weight. The one constant in her life, the one thing she could always, always count on, just vanished. And you can just feel her anxiety building as the minutes tick by. At 9:05 p.m., she's probably just waiting, a little annoyed, but then it's 9:20 p.m., and still no call. Now it's not annoyance, it's real concern. And by 10 p.m., an hour late, that silence must have felt deafening, just heavy. So eventually, she can't take the silence anymore. She decides to act, right? She calls him. But the voice that answers, it's not the voice she's known her whole life. And what comes next is this jarring, world-altering revelation. Just try to imagine hearing that. Instead of a familiar hello, it's a stranger's voice on the other end asking, "Are you his daughter?" That one question, it's the kind that makes your worst fears feel like they're coming true right in that second. Her heart must have just stopped. And then came the word that shatters everything. An accident. That's it. Just one word that hangs in the air and boom, everything changes in an instant. And right there, in that moment of just absolute shock and grief, the story takes a turn. It stops being about the broken ritual and it becomes about the profound love that created the ritual in the first place. A kind of love that goes way beyond the ability to even speak. You can hear her mind just scrambling, trying to make sense of something that feels impossible. But he always calls me. In her world, an accident couldn't possibly stop the 9 p.m. call. That call was like a law of nature, a fundamental truth. It's just pure disbelief. And this right here is the heart of the entire story. The person on the phone tells her he couldn't speak, but he kept trying to press his phone at 9 p.m. Even when he was critically injured, couldn't even form a word, his entire being was focused on that one thing, trying to make that call. The action, that was the message. So what does that tell us? Well, this leads us to the story's ultimate takeaway, I think. It's this incredibly profound look at what love really is. Maybe it's not just an emotion we feel. Maybe it's an action we take, a force that just keeps going against all odds. Because his final act proved it, didn't it? Sometimes, love doesn't need words. Those three questions were never asked that night, but the love behind them, it was communicated more powerfully than ever before. It was all right there, in the trying. And that's the whole idea, isn't it? Love isn't just a state of being, it's a verb. It's that relentless, stubborn effort to connect, to care, to show up, even at the very end. It just keeps trying. So, as we wrap this up, it really leaves us with something to think about for ourselves. What routines in your life are actually rituals of love? What are the small, consistent 9 p.m. calls in your own world? Those tiny, repeated gestures that say absolutely everything without having to say a single word.